Hello and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the tarot cards relating to the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Before you see the different illustrations of the star, the major arcana card that's related to this sign. We have the Rider-Waite-Smith deck right here, which is actually the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. We have the Thoth deck, or the Thoth illustration, Thoth or Thoth, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and the star from the Arcanum Tarot. Now we'll look at each of these cards individually, and I'll read you what the guidebooks that come with these decks share about these cards. Let's start with the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, first. This is what it says about the star. Calm after the storm, healing and renewal. Ultimate peace, yet active, not passive. Creative inspiration, invoking the muse. Clarity and vision. The star appears after the tumultuous devil and tower card. The star brings a calm and serenity feeling like the tempest has passed. The thunder and rain are gone. It is the clarity of a good cry, an emotional breakthrough, and the ultimate sense that everything will be okay. The star is also the card of direct communication with the muse. It is especially important card for writers and artists. This is the archetype of inspiration. The female's figure is nude, implying vulnerability and openness. Her freely flowing waters imply openness. The bird in the tree offers spirit's communication. The stars above are a million bright, shining guns, galaxies of hope and possibility. You can see there's just so much hope and inspiration to this card. She's open to whatever's coming to her. She's taking what she's learned and applying it to the present, being her own star and listening and being inspirational for others. The star is one of my favorite cards of the tarot for that reason. Up next, we'll look at the illustration of Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. This is one of my favorite illustrations of the entire deck. There's just so much beauty to it, so much inspiration. It's just so vivid and pretty. Here's what the guidebook, the little white book that comes with it, says about the star. Every form of energy in the card is spiral. This is an anticipation of the present aeon, that of Horus, the crowned and conquering child, successor to the dying god, Osiris. The departing aeon is shown in the rectilinear forms of energy issuing from the lower cup. These forms stand for the now abandoned Euclidean geometry. The figure of the goddess may be taken as a manifestation of the surrounding space of heaven. Last but certainly not least, we'll take a look at the star from the Arcanum Tarot. I think this one sums up the Aquarius sign very well. You know, it's the sign of the water bearer. And here we see a beautiful maiden pouring water from two different cups into the water below. Again, taking what she knows and applying it to her present. Here's what the guidebook that comes with the deck shares about the star. I am the one who gives you hope when you feel like nothing is going right. A young woman with blue hair hovers high above the world. In one hand, she holds a carafe made of gold, and in the other a silver carafe. Silver liquid pours from both, one directly into a pool of water, while the other nourishes a small plant growing from the water. Lush plant life surrounds the water. A full moon illuminates the world from behind this woman. Her robes seem to fade into the universal background. 8 stars shine bright, 4 on the left of the woman, and 3 on the right. A single bright star glows from the somewhat center of the woman's headdress. Upright meanings, blessings, dreams, cleansing, and renewal. Now, as you can see here, and here, the number of the star is 17. As you know, 17 can be reduced to a single digit, making it 8, which relates to strength or justice, depending on which deck you use, but it's a number of wealth and success. And when we believe in ourselves and our own star power, and use our hidden talents and stuff like that, we truly can find success. Let's move on to the court cards that are related to the sign of Aquarius now. Now, every sign of the zodiac has two different court cards that rule it. There's one that is the main one, you can think of it like that rules the first two decans. The third decan, as well as the first two decans of the next zodiac sign, are ruled by another one. Fixed signs of the zodiac, such as Aquarius we're talking here, are ruled by kings. As you can see, the King of Swords here from the Starman Tarot is one of the rulers of Aquarius, the first two decans, since it is the fixed air sign of the zodiac. And we have the Knight of Cups, this one from the Light Seer's Tarot, to rule the third decan, as well as the first two decans of Pisces. Let's start with the Knight of Swords first. Or Knight of Swords, why did I say Knight of Swords? King of Swords first. King of Swords. I believe in a fair world for all. The serious, high-minded King of Swords sees it as his duty to rule and govern his kingdom with absolute fairness and equality. He gives scant attention to his emotional life, perceiving it to cloud his judgment when he has to make difficult decisions that affect people's lives and livelihoods. He is careful to foster an environment resounding with positivity, supported by clear laws that nurture human dignity. He believes every human is born equal and innocent and has the right to be valued, respected, and to be treated ethically. It's the responsibility of a civilized society and its governance to structure to foster the conditions whereby men and women alike have the opportunity to fully contribute and realize their potential. He knows it's horribly detrimental to us all when people are dehumanized, objectified, humiliated, or treated as a means to an end. It poisons society. He sits astride his throne, a monumental electric chair demonstrating his invincibility and tolerance to pain. A formidable, fearless leader and arbitrator, he is the consummate professional who calmly sizes up any situation with remarkable speed and accuracy, applying a hawk's eye of events and potentials. The lunar module on fire shows that once a decision is made, there is no going back. He removes all escape routes with the same ingenuity and energy as Alexander the Great. The mandrill baboon at his feet displays his choice of fierce, powerful allies, belying the fact that beneath the king's facade is a very caring, sensitive person. As a father, he is perceived cold and clinical, a firm disciplinarian and taskmaster. Underneath all this, he loves his children deeply and only wants the very best for them. He regards it as his duty to raise his children into responsible, capable adults and citizens. Persons able to use and exert their intellect while mastering their emotions for the betterment of mankind. As a lover, he is to the point, organized, and reliable. He requires his partner to be an intellectual equal while respecting his personal freedom and control. The King of Swords indicates you are in a position to critically assess powerful situations around you, aligning them with your ethics and your belief that everyone should be given a fair chance to learn, grow, contribute, and prosper. Given a perspective, you can calmly formulate a workable plan and strategy to pursue an idea, no matter what the obstacles. Putting emotional concerns to one side invites you to gather the facts and information and analyze them critically in order to put forward a logical, workable solution and resolution for all. I'm a huge fan of the television show Star Trek. I've watched a lot of them recently, like a lot of the different series. And whenever I see the King of Swords, I always think of the Vulcans. You know, the ones that go, live long and prosper. Yeah, those are the ones that don't let their emotions get in their way, and they kind of lead with logic. But we're humans. We have emotional sides, and our emotions give us power. So blending that emotional side with the logical side is a great way to lead. Following that King of Swords is the Knight of Cups. Like I said, he rules the first two decans of Pisces as well as the last decan of Aquarius. The last weekend of Aquarius from February 10th to about February 19th or 20th, that's when Valentine's Day falls in. And this guy definitely screams Valentine's Day to me. Very romantic and asking you to join him. Here's what the guidebook that comes with the Light Seers deck says about the Knight of Cups. A classic romantic, a passionate soul, artistic tendencies, creativity, wearing your heart on your sleeve, seeking connection, being in love with the idea of love, and chivalry. This classic romantic invites you to step into a world of roses, bubble baths, and champagne, and is fully devoted for you today, and maybe even for every day. This card heralds romance and embodies the graceful movement of a slow dance. Enjoy this flirtation and be present to connect. This knight is intuitive and totally in touch with his emotions. As such, he knows what he wants, and he has no problem wearing his heart on his sleeve. This card often signifies someone who is in love with the idea of love itself, and sometimes this comes bundled with unrealistic expectations. Are you ready to be swept off your feet and to allow honesty and vulnerability to flow freely in your life? Do you believe in this type of true love? Get ready to take inspiration and run with it, to make art, music, and love, and a veritable masterpiece of life. I am in touch with my emotions. It's interesting to see these two cards side by side because, as I said, this is the logical king of the court cards and just focuses on logic, and this is the most romantic one of the court cards as well, probably the most romantic card of the tarot, who's very focused on their emotions. Next, we'll look at the cards, the minor arcana cards related to the sign of Aquarius. As the fixed air sign of the Zodiac, the minor arcana cards that relate to it are the ones in the middle of the sequence. So we have the Five of Swords, this one from the Tarot in Wonderland, the Six of Swords from the Deviant Moon Tarot, and the Seven of Swords from the Dark Mansion Tarot. I will start with the Five of Swords first. Through the looking glass. Alice wonders why the gardeners are painting white roses red. Why, the fact is, you see, miss, this here ought to have been a red rose tree, and we put a white one in by mistake, and if the queen was to find out, we should all have our heads cut off, you know. So you see, miss, we're doing our best before she comes to. The subjects of Wonderland live in fear of the vindictive Queen of Hearts. Any mistake, any insult, intended or perceived, any whim of Her Highness can end in a death sentence. This makes for very unhappy people who serve to avoid punishment rather than out of respect and love. It's a pretty stupid move on the part of the Queen, but then she probably doesn't realize that people do better work when they feel safe and appreciated. While she may get what she wants in the short term through terrorizing people, it won't be a long-lived victory. In the long run, she will probably find herself facing a revolution that could end with her losing her head. Down the rabbit hole. In a reading, this card makes a Pyrrhic victory. Whatever you've done or are planning to do will probably end in you getting what you want. Unfortunately, there will be a cost to that victory. The price will be higher and broader than you imagine. The seeds of discontent or bad feelings that are planted will grow and become much bigger problem down the line. If you've already taken the actions, try to mitigate the damage. If you haven't, reconsider your plan and see if there is a resolution that won't create future enemies. And whenever the Five of Swords comes up in a reading and I'm interpreting it, I always ask how the claimant feels. Got the Queen here, which you could relate to the Queen and being the one that's taking the swords. Or you could be the two characters back here, the ones that are being defeated. 5 is a number of change and transformation, so the whole story could be changed or transformed depending on which side that you feel you're on. I don't actually have a guidebook for the Deviant Moon Tarot. There's one out there, but I haven't bought it yet. So we're just going to look at this illustration and kind of talk about it. The Six of Swords is the card of leaving the stress and the just annoyance of life behind to find peace and happier times. Following the sequence, here's the 5, bad mood, woman's being mean to us, it's taking what we have. We move past that. 6 is a number of self-reflection, of like looking back and just moving forward out of that pain. Here you can see this world's on fire, but our character's moving towards this land that's not on fire. And the hot air balloon that he has is coming out of his own head, which relates it to logic and mind. Life is too short to really let just stress and stuff like that to cloud our minds. So this is definitely one of my favorite cards, because it's just like, leave it behind, start something new. Don't stress about it. It does no good. It just leaves wrinkles in your head, honestly. Finally, we have the 7 of Swords. And again, I don't have the guidebook. There is no guidebook for the Dark Mansion Tarot that I know of. But you can tell really well what this card represents by the illustration, which is why I love tarot so much. You can just interpret it just by the illustration. Here we see a character with 7 or 5 swords in his bag right here. 2 are still left there for whoever he's stolen this from, and he creeps over the buildings while people are asleep, having stolen their stuff. The 7 of Swords is known as the Thief card in the tarot, and following the 6 of Swords, it's kind of like, I like to see it as a more positive thing, that you're stealing back your energy, like just taking control back of your life. 7 is a number of overcoming obstacles, magic, and mysticism. So it's really just gaining control of your life and feeling like you have everything you need. There's also a message of like warning that someone might be stealing something from you. So when it comes up, just have that aware. Not everybody can be trustworthy. Well, that's a look at all the tarot cards relating to the zodiac sign of Aquarius. As we move forward, I will attempt to get all of the ones up for the different signs. Seeing as we're in the sign of Aquarius right now, it's the perfect time to focus on this. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.